Hey, what's up, everybody? It's VF44 coming at you with another video. So I watched my video last night on the Nugget Lakers game 2, AD heroic, buzzer beater, all of that reaction stuff. And I missed a few things. There were a few things that I would have liked to have talked about. So I'm going to try to make a little follow-up video and talk about some other things that may come to mind in the process of it. But one of the things that I did not mention that I would like to get on here and say is, wow, Mason Plumlee. Bro, that was bad. I'm not going to lie to you guys, as a fan, as someone who didn't play the game like that, I wasn't an organized basketball player growing up. Played a little bit, was on a couple teams, a couple years, but that wasn't something that I excelled in, despite having such a passion for it. So I may have missed a few things. I'm not the X's and O's basketball guy like that. I can pick apart basketball to a degree, but I would refer and defer rather to experts and professionals and people who have played more organized basketball than myself to kind of catch things that I may not catch in real time. So this is one of those situations. I was more so looking at the offensive play, paying attention to the perspective of my team, and wasn't really giving much of a close eye to the Nuggets on that final play. I was more so feeling the anxiety of a fan, trying to make sure that that our team wins. So what ended up happening once I started watching the breakdown of it, once I started seeing the replay a bunch of times, etc., listening to everybody, wow, that one's going to follow him for a very long time. It's one of those situations where you just expect certain things. It's almost like muscle memory. When you play the game enough, when you practice enough, you expect certain things in certain situations. Down the stretch, he was automatically assuming that LeBron James was setting the screen so that he can roll off of it and either catch the ball or be a decoy for someone else. I think LeBron James and the coaching staff on that final out of bounds play, probably more so to LeBron James, because they said that they had ran the play for LeBron James, but I think a couple things happened in that last play. One, they were smothering LeBron. Two, I think LeBron James saw an opportunity to give AD some confidence and let him be the guy, let him take the shot. I think he saw that as an opportunity for that, and I think that's why he didn't move. As Rondo described, he looked in LeBron's directions and he didn't move. Some people would go first to the space where they say, well, LeBron James clammed up. LeBron James was scared, like Skip Bayless said, scared of the moment. Nope. Nah, LeBron James already proven otherwise in that regard. I'm not worried about him reverting back to old Mavericks Heat days. I don't think that that's a problem for LeBron anymore. He's already won many game winners with ease and won championships since then. I think what he was doing was trying to instill some real faith in Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, to me, appears to be one of those guys who, as brilliantly talented as he is, I don't think that he is as confident as maybe a guy like Kyrie Irving or a guy like Kobe Bryant or even LeBron James to a different extent. I think Anthony Davis is the kind of guy who's still trying to figure himself out. He's still fairly young in this world, and he still hasn't won yet. He still hasn't been in situations that would allow him to believe in himself on that level in the NBA. In college he won it, but with the Pelicans he wasn't really able to have a lot of significant basketball in his career yet. So I think this was an opportunity for LeBron to have probably just said, you know what? Nah, let's let AD do this. AD is as great as he believes himself to be. It's time for him to be able to see that greatness manifest in real time. And we're still trying to get AD to resign. We don't have him signed past this summer. So at this point, or rather this winter, at this point, we need to do everything we can to make him feel comfortable and let him understand just how valuable we believe him to be. And if that's the message we're trying to send, I support it, because he is that talented. He really is the guy that you can count on to hit that shot. We talk about a lot of superstars in the NBA, and we hold them with a high regard. And we mention their names, and we say, whoa, what they can do. Oh my God. We talk about Devin Booker. We talk about Jamal Murray. We talk about, guys that Joel Embiid, guys of that caliber. Donovan Mitchell. We love these players. We think the world of them. We throw max money at them. But then there are guys that are even above them. And AD is one of those guys, in my opinion, who's just above them. That tier of player that you would just simply throw $100 million at and be pleased. This is like a guy that you can't get. You'll go through the draft for another 25, 30 years and probably won't get a guy like Anthony Davis. Like, you can't. This is not a learnable thing that he has there. What he has is God-given size, ability, basketball IQ, and fundamentals and mechanics and speed for his size. I mean, it just goes on and on when you talk about this type of talent. You know, I look at this guy and I say, what's keeping him from reaching Pantheon great status? I don't see anything, literally nothing in his way. All he needed was an organization that can put the right team around him. And right now, it seems like year one of a very, very special career. Because his career is just getting started, in my opinion, even though he's already made all-star teams and things of that nature. Not until he wins his first ring does he really start to understand, or rather realized his true ability in this league. And I think that's what it's about. LeBron James saw an opportunity to kind of just step out the way and let AD be it. And AD showed us that he is it. So everybody's happy. You know, the things that stood out for me last night after the presser was some of the things that AD said about having support in the organization, people believing in him, team, and the camaraderie that he feels on this team. I looked on J.R. Smith's post, and he was talking about how much he loves being on this team and how it feels like they've been together forever. And he's having so much fun, even though he's not even playing out there. He's just enjoying it. And I just have to say, wow, you know, Genie Bus, bravo, congratulations, Magic Johnson, thank you. And even though there were some things that he did with the roster that I still don't understand, ultimately it was their vision that helped us overcome the Jim Bus era and brought us back to where we are right now, which is prominence. So if they don't get credit, nobody deserves credit, because they turned the whole culture around just by having the guts. Jeannie did, the guts to, you know, just ask her brother, you know, repair whatever was broken with that situation, and ultimately asking him to leave, you know, asking him to step down, you know, getting him to understand how much better the organization can be going forward if we have new vision, and she pulled it off, man. And I thank Jim for walking away. It probably wasn't the easiest thing he ever did. Probably very humbling to have to face that and go that route. But at the end of the day, look at where we are, you know? Look at where we are. All we needed was to change the culture to attract free agents. We already had the team that everybody wanted to play for. We already have the market that everybody wants to live in. You know, we just need not be in our own way. And we got out of our own way. Things worked out. And now we're 6 games away from a championship. And that is why I want to say congratulations to Jeannie Buss, Magic Johnson, Rob Pelinka, the best GM in sports right now. I don't care what nobody says. What he was able to do after we got AD was just impossible. Putting together a team like that with so little a budget and so little guarantees of the really just what you can actually get because of Kawhi Leonard's decision to delay his decision. And that was just a miracle. He pulled the rabbit out of the hat. And, you know, just even adjusting to some of the roster's changes that we had to face when Boogie went down, bringing in a guy like Dwight Howard, giving him an opportunity, you know, near the trade deadline or what have you. Around that time, he was able to pick up Markieff Morris. You know, when we lost Avery Bradley, he comes in and brings in JR and Dion. I mean, just the adjustments that were made to keep the team relevant when we had little to no cap space left and little to no picks left. Just phenomenal job. So, yeah, man, that's another thing I wanted to say. I just really appreciate what I saw from the players at the end of that game and how happy they are with the organization. Yeah, let's see what else is there. There were some other things I wanted to say. I don't think I mentioned Jamal Murray's name once yesterday, which is egregious, and that should never happen when the Denver Nuggets are being talked about. So yeah, Jamal Murray, still Jamal Murray. I think we're doing a pretty good job against him, and I'd like to see that continue. He's having trouble with our guards. I'm not going to even sit here and sugarcoat it. Guys like Caruso and Rondo, they're giving him fits. KCP, the people we're putting on him are really, really doing a good job. So I just want to see that continue. now that we're reaching a point in the series where we're starting to see an opportunity to see the end of this thing. We're starting to see an opportunity to end it early. I think what we have to guard against is the same thing that we had to guard against from the beginning of the series: becoming complacent. I sensed some complacency last night, and I thought that we were, as I said in the video, playing with our food. Unacceptable against this team. They are the comeback kids, probably the greatest comeback team we've seen in a very, very long time. What needs to happen is continuous paranoia. Complete and utter paranoia. Be absolutely paranoid of this team. When you're up 20, try to push it to 30. When you're up 30, try to push it to 40. When you're up 40, it does not stop, because you don't want to give a team like this any opportunity to get riled up or into a space where they're thinking this is their time to come back. Like, we don't want any of that. So make sure that you guard against that, Lakers. What else? Nuggets are such a good passing team. Continue to play the passing lanes. Continue to stay up under them. Jokic is playing amazing despite having his hands full with our bigs. I would like to see us continue to body him up, continue to do the same things against him, and we'll move on from there. And I do mean move on. And I don't want to play anymore with the Nuggets, honestly. After last night, I heard the pundits say this, and I'll say the same thing. They are a dangerous team, but that shot last night would have taken a lot of teams' heart. Now, I don't think it took theirs. I don't think that. So we got to continue to keep our foot on the neck. We got to continue to make sure that killer instinct is what we're motioning with. We have to have that in the forefront of our mind. You know, we're playing for Kobe. You know, and we got to continue to have that killer instinct that he embodied every single year. So that's what's going to get us the championship. I believe the Lakers are 6 games away from it. I don't think we're going to lose anything going forward if we continue on the path that we're on. Yeah, let's keep it short and sweet. Game 3 is tomorrow, and adjustments will be made. I'm still looking for Bol, and I know it ain't the kid's fault. So maybe he's not ready. You know, I don't pay close enough attention to the Nuggets to know exactly what's going on with their team. But every time I've seen him, including when he was playing against us, I think it was the second time we played them in the season before the bubble, he looked great. He was hitting jumpers, he was running around, he was blocking shots, he was getting rebounds, he was doing what he needed to do to earn my curiosity about more minutes in his regard. So I think the coach over there, he knows what he's doing. I'm a believer in Mike Malone. I'm starting to grow a certain level of affinity for how he approaches coaching his team. He's becoming one of my favorite coaches just from watching him in the bubble. And I'm thinking that eventually he will unleash this kid. I don't want to see a repeat situation of what I saw a couple years back in Philadelphia when Markelle Fultz was not getting any run. I know that he still had his issues at the time, but he had also had 2 triple-doubles in the games in that season earlier on after the injury. So to me, it seemed like he should have been playing. Brett Brown thought it wasn't a good idea to play him, and obviously they got bounced in that same series. I think that Mike Malone may be making the same decision. I would call it a mistake, but you know, if Fultz wasn't ready, he wasn't ready. But to me, it seemed like he should have been out there in the playoffs for that run, maybe 3 years back, I would think that was. But either way, Bol should not have to go through that. He's healthy, and his skill set would help them in this series. I just think it's a very, very good decision to play him, and not just in garbage time. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Shout out to PJ Dozier for having a breakout game yesterday. He's now somebody we understand we have to pay attention to as well, and that just speaks to the depth of the Denver Nuggets. They have one of the deepest teams in the league, and you know they're only going to get better. They're only going to get better. So we need to continue to keep in mind that the Nuggets out there. It ain't just the Clippers going forward next season and going forward after that. You have to make sure that you realize that youth is still the movement. And as we continue to keep LeBron James as our number one guy, we want to make sure that our role players are limber enough, young enough to keep up with the teams that are going to continue to get better in this league. But Either way, right now, let's win this championship. My name is BDF44. Thanks for watching. I'm out.